Hello and welcome back for another Creators Chat Q&A. This week, or this episode, we're not going to do these weekly.
No.
I'm not even going to release them weekly. Why do I keep saying week?
I said that last time we did a Creators Chat. I actually said something about this week.
We're acting like it's a weekly show. Yeah. It's not a weekly show.
We're that accountable.
Anyway, this episode, we're going to talk about working with hard/difficult art directors /clients/people. So yeah, working with tough clients.
Challenging clients.
Challenging clients.
Yeah.
That's a
rosy
very
way of putting it.
diplomatic way of putting it. And of course, yes, I have had bad clients. I've had, rude clients, unprofessional clients.
Exploitative clients.
Yep. I've had clients that ask for way too much. I've had, clients that treated me terribly. And that's pretty normal.
It's sadly fairly standard.
Yeah, it's honestly, I've gotten pretty lucky in that I think I've only had one client ever refuse to pay me, which is fantastic. I consider myself thoroughly lucky. Most people, you're going to deal with some tough jobs occasionally. And so the question sort of is, how do you handle that? How do you survive?
There's the kind of sad truth is the client is in some ways in charge. Mm-hmm. So getting this out of the way, there is only so much freedom you have to work with people who are being difficult. If they're the ones paying you, you are to an extent at their beck and call.
Yes.
There's some things, you can't go shouting at people, you can't go refusing to do what they want. There will just be some jobs that are more challenging than others, and that can be that you disagree with the client's opinion, you think the client has unfair demands, and sometimes there is a certain amount of just having to suck that up, which is tragic, but it's part of the job. That said, you don't have to be a doormat.
No.
You shouldn't let people walk all over you, you shouldn't let people abuse you, you shouldn't let people expect ridiculous things of you. And as a professional, you do have a certain amount of entitlement to opinion. So if you've worked with a difficult client and they're asking something of you you don't agree with, you have the complete right to say, respectfully, I don't agree with that, this is my opinion. If the person comes back to you and says, no, I want to stick with what I've said, depending on what it is, if it's a decision to do with the artwork, if that is what they really want and they are not listening to your opinion, freelance life. What is that?
The blender.
Oh, it's okay. If you can hear the blender, sorry. You were
what is that noise?
You just got me in the middle of an impassioned of the blender. It's a moment killer.
It's fine.
Anyways, there is a certain amount of, as a freelancer, you are working for that person, and if they do not agree with your opinion, they're paying you, and you just got to give them what they want.
Yep.
If they are demanding unfair things of you, I want you to repaint this whole painting from scratch because I decided actually I wanted to go with a completely different colour scheme.
Yep.
That is where you kind of can put your foot down and say that is not part of the original agreement. I would like more pay or a kill fee for this. There are certain things you have that you can be treated like a human being and a professional, but ultimately you are doing a service for someone else and you kind of don't get to be a prima donna about things. It sucks sometimes, but it's part of the job.
Yeah, I would say to always respect yourself first.
Yes.
That if they're asking too much and it's not reasonable and it's not in the contract, get out of there if you can. Do it respectfully though, because that's the other thing is respect the job and respect the client. They are giving you money and you're doing a job, and if you don't like it, who cares? Most people don't like their jobs and you can get over it. I've done plenty of jobs where I did not like what they asked me to do, and I didn't agree with it, and it was miserable, and it made the painting worse. And I did it anyway, because frankly, I was doing a job. If you want complete creative control, do your own stuff. As soon as you agree and sign a contract to work for somebody else, you're getting on board with them. That said, there is, acceptable levels of feedback you can kind of give them, where I've had art directors ask me for something very specific or a specific change or something like that. And I've honestly gotten back to them and been like, no, I don't think that will look good. And then what I try to do is I try to show them an example of what I do think would look good. Some sort of change that solves the problem in a way that I think was more successful. And that is usually pretty well received. It's not always 100% because sometimes they have a reason that you don't know about for why they're asking for that. But it's at least worth a shot. But yeah. So yeah, respect yourself, but respect the job. It is a job, and yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. See you later.